Dispatch, Unit 732. Responding to a 911 hang-up, abandoned warehouse district, Sector Gamma. Over.
Officer Miller adjusted his body cam. The small, green light confirming it was recording. The warehouse district was always quiet after dark, a maze of crumbling brick and dark alleys. A 911 hang-up usually meant kids messing around, or maybe a homeless person accidentally dialing. Nothing serious. He pulled up to an old, rusted warehouse, its windows long since shattered, gaping like empty eyes. No other cars, no signs of forced entry. Just the oppressive silence of the night, broken only by the drip of unseen water. He unholstered his sidearm, more out of habit than genuine fear. The warehouse interior was vast and cold, filled with the ghosts of forgotten machinery. His flashlight beam danced across rusted pipes and shadows that seemed to lengthen and twist in his peripheral vision. Crack! A sudden, sharp noise echoed from deeper within the building. Miller tensed. "Police? Anyone here?" he called out, his voice swallowed by the cavernous space. Only the echo answered him. He swore he heard faint whispers, like dry leaves rustling, just beyond the reach of his hearing. Static crackled in his earpiece. Then the body cam feed glitched. For a split second, the image distorted, pixelated into abstract colors, before snapping back to normal. Miller frowned, tapping the camera. "Come on, stay with me," he muttered. He walked past what looked like an old assembly line, the long conveyor belt disappearing into the gloom. He found a small, almost imperceptible drawing on a dusty support pillar. A crude stick figure, but the eyes, they were drawn large, staring, unsettling. He felt a sudden, inexplicable chill. This wasn't just kids. A sound distinct and unnatural. A soft, wet thump. It came from an area piled high with old wooden crates. Miller advanced cautiously, his heart thudding. "Police! Show yourself!" He rounded the corner. Nothing, just dust and discarded debris. Then his light fell upon a single worn child's shoe, lying innocently on the grimy concrete. As he stared at it, a faint, high-pitched giggle seemed to float from above him. Miller snapped his head up. The body cam glitched again, longer this time, scrambling the image into a kaleidoscope of static and broken colors. When it cleared, the child's shoe was gone. The spot where it lay was empty. The whispers returned louder, clearer. Not just rustling, but distinct words, though he couldn't make them out. They were all around him, seeming to come from the very air. He stumbled backward, breath catching in his throat. The body cam feed went wild. It inverted colors, stretched the image, tearing at the edges like old film. For a horrifying split second, the warehouse seemed to shift, revealing a vast, dark space behind it, filled with impossible angles and a horrifying, multi-limbed creature scuttling towards him with impossible speed. Then, as quickly as it appeared, the image snapped back to normal. The creature was gone. The warehouse was just the warehouse. But the whispers were a roar now, an indistinguishable wave of sound that vibrated through his very bones. His flashlight beam shook wildly. He turned to run, to escape this impossible place. But where the main door had been, there was now a shimmering, pulsing wall of black static, like a living energy field. He was trapped. A sudden, invisible force gripped his ankles. Miller screamed, dropping his flashlight, which clattered the floor, casting a distorted, low-angle view of his legs being violently dragged backward into the deeper darkness of the warehouse. His screams were muffled, then abruptly cut short. The body cam feed cuts out with a final, piercing, high-pitched screech of static, then silence.